Welcome to Gamer TV. Coming up, goal hang with soccer superstars in FIFA 2006. Games boffins turn crack shot when we send them to sniper school. And superheroes slug it out in Marvel Nemesis. But first, road rage taken to the next level in 187 Ride or Die. Gaming's gone all gangster these days. Across the genres, tons of titles are coming to us graffiti sprayed with pumping hip-hop soundtracks and slang that requires a street dictionary to fully decipher.
Cortez crew is lining up in the hood to race. Finish first, flip these fools' wigs back. Don't let me down. Holla back.
The Combat Racer is a more appropriate candidate for this urban treatment than most. So now we have 187 Ride or Die, a PS2 and Xbox game from Ubisoft that combines two favourite gangland accessories, automatic weapons and bling-in motors. Take that, fool! You play Buck, living the thug life in LA's ghetto underworld. Buck's job is to defend his wounded boss's territory from invading rival gangs. Hell yeah! He helpfully rides out to send these cheeky trespassers back to their own turf.
Step inside.
Luckily, the rest of Buck's crew are scantily dressed young ladies who love guns as much as he does. They're happy to take the wheel while Buck does the shooting, or vice versa.
What's my name?
As you speed through the streets of the hood, guns blazing, you'll take back districts by winning a variety of deadly races and arena-style death matches. The driving controls are standard, but you're given two options for controlling your fire. Classic assigns face buttons for firing in front or behind. Lock-on targeting helps out with the angles in between. While direct uses the right thumbstick to allow 360-degree aiming. You can also look back to get a clear view of unfriendly cars on your bumper. AI will handle the driving here so you can concentrate on taking them down. Ride or Die's fast and furiously violent gameplay comes across like Boys in the Hood meets Burnout. There's a good selection of co-op, split screen and online multiplayer options, and it's not too shabby visually either. That's worth a mother-loving 4 out of 5. You heard? "60 years on and whole armies of games designers are turning to World War II for inspiration. Realism is what counts though, and Rebellion's Sniper Elite, set in the ruins of Berlin at the end of the war, is no exception. But just how realistic is it? We challenged Rebellion's boss Jason Kingsley to go to a real sniper training school and find out.
My name's Jason Kingsley. Today we're out in the woods with some very tough professional people teaching us how to actually do things for real.
It's no walk in the park though, as Jason and his brother Chris learn the basics of sniping.
Okay, Jason, to understand how to conceal yourself, you have to understand how things are seen. And what we're trying to do is mask the normal form of the human body that is so easily recognisable. Things that stick out, you darken so they attract less light. That disruptive pattern breaks up the natural format of the face.
Sniping's all about guns, of course, and although Jason will be using a blank firing rifle for the exercise at the rifle range, he begins his training with a rifle straight from the game.
Good, operate the ball.
A German Mauser, firing live ammunition. With the stalk about to begin, Jason and Chris are issued their instructions.
This exercise it's not been laid on specifically for Rebellion. This is a real-life exercise that's used by snipers worldwide. The object is for you to move into a position and get one shot at a sentry that's in that tower.
So far it's been fun, and now it looks like the serious stuff is starting, so I'm going to start concentrating on what I'm doing.
If he makes his first shot, Jason has to fire his second before he passes the test. But without prior military training, can he do it? Meanwhile, in the castle tower, the spotter sets up position. Dressed in an authentic smock and helmet, he's in an excellent vantage point, and there are more sentries on the ground. Things don't look good for Jason.
If we can't see him, he can't see us. It's just there. Can you see it? Come up here.
As well as the guy in the tower, there are umpires on the ground keeping an eye on things, and the tension builds as he tries to find a position. First shot fired, but Jason doesn't have a clear line of sight.
It's too tense. Too tense to fire through. I don't think I can see him.
Jason and Chris decide to try from another location, but time is running out. Can he make the second shot and still avoid being seen?
Okay. I managed to get one shot off, and then rather stupidly forgot to reload my rifle straight away, and then the spotter couldn't see me until I had to take my second shot, whereupon I had to reload, and he saw the movement of my reloading and spotted me, so that was it. Completely rubbish, I'm sorry.
So, was the experience useful to a games designer?
I feel like I've actually learnt quite a lot about tactics and movement in doing this training outside in the real world, which I can then bring back and do in the artificial world of the computer game.
Next up, rummaging through the games industry's bins, this is Spam Filter. Bad news for fans of sci-fi TV show Stargate. The video game version of the galactic romp has been put on hold. Austrian publisher Joe Wood has ended its contract with the game's developers' Australian outfit Perception. The move has been prompted by quality and release date fears. At present, all of the work completed on the game and its coveted license revert to Joe Wood. Plans are afoot though to update the game and release it on a next-gen console. Doom and Quake fans are in for a treat at this year's QuakeCon. id Software and Activision have announced an Xbox Doom 3 expansion pack and Quake 4 multiplayer will be on show at the Texan convention. After the dark and dank multiplayer aspects of Doom 3, first-person shooter fans are looking forward to a brighter and more frag-filled offering from Quake 4. We're keeping a close eye on Quake 4 because it's shaping up to be one of the PC titles of 2005. Former core design head honcho Adrian Smith has been voicing his concerns about the PlayStation 3 recently. Now running games company Circle Studios, Smith thinks developers will have a hard time creating games which match the stunning PS3 demos released earlier this year. Smith knows his onions and was one of the brains behind Lara Croft. He commented, "How long is it going to take the development community to actually find out what they're capable of? The original PlayStation 2 movies were spectacular, and I'm not so sure that developers have even got there yet." A host of industry commentators have made similar statements about next-gen machines, and we're remaining sceptical about those demos until we get our hands on real next-gen games.
Game after game after game, I realise now what is most important in my life: football.
FIFA Soccer has been with us for a long time. As if to prove it, Electronic Arts would include both a package of decade-old football highlights and a retrospective of past titles with their latest edition. Yes, it's nearly that time of year again. FIFA 06 is nearly upon us, and as you'd expect, all the stats, teams and players will be bang up to date. The massive list of available options will allow you to do silly things, like give Rio Ferdinand an impromptu makeover. Or create impossible things like have England score against Brazil. Graphics seem to have undergone substantial improvements too, and players move across the pitch with greater conviction than ever before. EA's Skill Stick makes an appearance, as it does in most of its major sporting titles this year. Not only will it allow you to pull off unlikely winning strikes, but also dribble and dance while you're in possession of the ball.
Oh, did you see that?
As usual, multiplayer options will be most comprehensive on the Xbox, but this may be the last title in the series where that's true. FIFA is about to take the nervous leap into the next generation of consoles, and after that, all bets will be off. There's little hope, however, that this latest soccer title will end the age-old FIFA versus Pro Evo argument. Face it, folks, it can't be solved, but with PS3 and Xbox 360 both looming, the next step in digital football will likely be one long remembered. As for this one, we'll have a review for you later in the year.
Oh, what a finish! Oh, look at that!
Oh! Still to come, forget your no claims bonus in Fired Up. Shaken and stirred, Bond's back in From Russia with Love. And Spandex. Had the effect of making eager European gamers quite moody. The wait's finally over, everyone's calmed down a bit, and now there's a title that could describe their feelings of impatience-induced anger. Fired Up. Developed by Sony's own London studio, this vehicle-based shooter is a portable spin-off from the PS2's hardware online arena. Fired Up setting is an anonymous Eastern European country that's been invaded by a warmongering republic. Playing as a team of renegade resistance fighters, each with their own heavily armed transport, your job is to strike back at the tyrants for the oppressed population. Your right-on political intentions compel you to get in your ride and blow up all the hardware the Republic can throw at you. The icon collecting and mission-based gameplay come across a bit like Twisted Metal meets GTA. But even though the smoky explosions look nice and environments are large and free-roaming, don't expect a long-lasting or particularly engaging single-player experience. Skilled players could blaze through Fired Up story mode in a few hours. Thankfully, extra fun can be had when there are other PSPs around to join in some Wi-Fi multiplayer battling. Another benefit is the game sharing feature. Up to 8 players can go at each other in races, King of the Hill or death matches using just one UMD. We'll give Fired Up a 3. While it's quick to beat on your own, this one becomes a more entertaining blast with friends.
You don't have a chance!
If you ever wanted to see the cream of Marvel superheroes beating the sprockets out of each other, you'd Well, you probably would have bought Capcom's Marvel superheroes years ago. Now you're sitting there waiting for us to impress you. Okay then, how about exactly the same principle, but with modern graphical flair, dazzling special effects, and most importantly, brand new characters? Electronic Arts have collaborated with Marvel veterans to produce a new set of caped punch bags, and the result is Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects.
I am Iron Man.
Rather like that other forthcoming Marvel game, The Incredible Hulk, Nemesis features fully destructible environments. A grim inevitability perhaps, especially when the likes of Spider-Man, Wolverine and Venom are involved. Details are thin on the ground at this point, but we do know the game will feature extensive multiplayer modes, including online battle as well as full access to each hero's devastating powers. As for these new characters, the Imperfects, EA has knocked on the doors of former X-Men and Spider-Man legend Jay Lee and Spider-Man 2 concept artist Paul Catlin. Safe to say, they're looking big, strong and decidedly unpleasant. It's just like the old days, isn't it? Remember those long lines of arcade machines tempting you to wield the powers of your favourite comic book characters? Well, it seems even in the face of unprecedented graphical power, there's still a market for the paranormal beat-em-up. This November is clobbering time. We'll be right here with our reviews. The Sony PlayStation. Style icon, cultural emblem, the console that took video games to the mainstream. But in a world dominated by Nintendo and Sega, just how did the PlayStation manage to mangle Mario and sucker Sonic? It was Nintendo who originally invited the shark into the fish pond. They asked video game virgin Sony to help them design a disc-based games console. But it wasn't all plain sailing for the Walkman wizards, as the fellow who helped design the PlayStation told us.
It was all new to us. We'd never made a game console before. Not only the hardware design, but also the development tools. Making software was something completely new for us. We made mistakes and discovered new challenges almost every day.
The original PlayStation launched in Japan in 1994, and by 95 it was a global phenomenon. With exciting new franchises like Crash Bandicoot and Ridge Racer, the PlayStation hit the market just when the opposition was beginning to look a bit samey. And by 1998, Sony had racked up 50 million sales around the world.
We wanted to introduce a new standard of games when we started the project. Before the PlayStation, there were really only 2D worlds, and we wanted to create real 3D worlds.
Clever advertising and pop culture associations were also the key. Sony included contemporary music in games like Wipeout. Not to mention a PS1's ability to play music CDs. And by now the PlayStation had its own game icons in Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid and Gran Turismo. More adult, less cutesy than Mario. Sega tried to claw back the market with the technically advanced Dreamcast, but it wasn't long before Sony replied with the seminal PlayStation 2. And with a fan base bigger than U2, the queues for PS2s were as big as a rock concert. In Tokyo, they camped out for more than a week. Before spending their money hand over fist in crowded shops. In America, a similar story unfolded as fanboys queued to be the first to play the next generation. Even Ken Kutaragi, the PlayStation's founder, joined the party.
It's great and wonderful, so I was very, very happy to be here.
Although the Western launch lineup for the PS2 looked pretty sparse, what did arrive, games like Ridge Racer 5 and Tekken Tag Team, made the grade. And the PS2's DVD player was just as important as CD music was for the original. Within a year, the Dreamcast was history. And Sonic the Hedgehog had to move to PS2. Even a new Nintendo and a new Mario, not to mention Microsoft's entrance with the Xbox, did little to dent Sony's dominance. While PS1 icons like Gran Turismo and Metal Gear Solid are still strong on the PS2, the biggest symbol of the PlayStation generation has to be Grand Theft Auto. Forget cute plumbers or spinning hedgehogs, carjacking, gunfights and attitudes sum it all up. Suddenly, in 2004, Sony gave Nintendo a double whammy. They attacked the Game Boy with palm-sized PlayStation, the PSP.
Thin and light was the key for the PSP. Finding out how to use our engineering skills to cram everything into such a small case was really important.
Like on the PS1 and PS2, Ridge Racer led the way, and Sony's Pocket Marvel also plays music and movies. Needless to say, GTA is on the way too. But the most important chapter in the PlayStation's history has yet to be written, with the PS3 due to launch in 2006.
We've sold 100 million units of PS1 and 87 million units of PS2 in just 5 years. And I think PS3 is going to sell even faster.
Not if Microsoft has its way though, with the Xbox 360 launching before PS3. Sony might have tackled Nintendo and said sayonara to Sega, but can they continue to stay at the top in the battle for your living room? With Sean Connery's recent announcement that he was sick of Hollywood idiots and would now only be tempted by extraordinary offers, we think it's safe to assume that Electronic Arts executives offered him cash, jewels, yachts, and as a last resort, maybe even their wives. We're joking, of course, but we were as surprised as anyone to see this video game endorsement. Celebrity aside, From Russia With Love is shaping up as a neat mix of stealth and driving levels. Staying true to its 1963 setting, you can expect not only an abundance of retro design classics, but also Sir Sean's digital co-stars from the movie, including lovely Russian agent Tatiana Romanova. As for Bond himself, Electronic Arts have based their models on period photographs of the famous actor, producing a likeness that probably surprised the grizzled Scotsman himself. The plot too is a blast from the past, and like the film, sees Bond visiting Turkey, Italy and dear old Blighty. Graphically, it's not only polished but also extremely faithful to the Eon movies. Electronic Arts are promising an array of multiplayer options, and we can only hope that this Bond title is as satisfying in that department as its N64 ancestor, GoldenEye. With the spy market currently cornered by young pretenders like Sam Fisher, it's nice to see not only a genuine star getting involved in the world of espionage, but also someone who really does think dinner jackets and stealth are a match made in heaven. We'll have a review before the game's release later in the year. We're going to grab ourselves a well-earned vodka martini now, but join us next time for more Gamer TV.
You don't have a chance!